you love to gamble and you are sick of losing, then stay tuned, because in this series I will give away all my secrets on how to beat the house in online gambling. This will be completely free of charge, and the only favor I expect in exchange is that you smash that like button. This will keep me motivated and also help my channel grow. Hi, this is Praios and I'm a professional gambler. Today I will show you how to make money playing blackjack. I will explain the most common technique used by advantage gamblers, and this is card counting. First I will give an instruction and explain exactly how it works, and later I will tell you why you should still not use it, although it's plus EV on paper. Let's get right into it. I will now explain the high-low card counting strategy. First, assign ranks to each card, and for this I have prepared a little something. There it is, here we go, and if you got a card 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6, you should add +1, and this a 7 to 9 is a rank of 0, and cards from 10 to king and an ace have a rank of -1. And the second step in this strategy would be to start at a running count of 0 at the beginning of a shoe, and once cards get revealed, keep adding and subtracting points according to the system I just explained to you. I guess this is not completely clear yet, so that's why we will make an example now. I recorded this video on PokerStars today, and we will use this clip to illustrate how the strategy works. Let's get into it. Okay, let's get into it. Before she starts to shuffle, I want to give some general tips. You have to pay attention at all time. If you are lazy or just did not pay attention for a short moment, you might miss some information. For example, sometimes if players bust, the cards will get pushed into each other and then you might miss cards. Same problem is if the dealer puts out his cards very fast and then pushes it together and goes on to the next hand, you might also miss information. So be very careful and pay attention at all time, otherwise you might not get the count correct. And another expert tip is wait until the complete hand is dealt. Then you can group stuff together. For example, if you have a 10 and a 6, you don't have to do like +1, -1, so we add zeros. You just now, okay, I can ignore these two completely because they counter each other out more or less. So +1, -1 is still 0. I hope you could understand this, and I invite every one of you to try to keep count as well. I will now start the video in a minute, and we will play this at real speed, and then we will find out if we can do it. So let's go. So she's dealing the cards. -2, -1, 0, +1, 0. Now it's +1, it's 0 again. +1. Now we get some time to relax. Still +1, +2, +1, and hand is over. Thanks, let's move on. I know this is already quite overwhelming, but there are more steps to take into account in order to apply this strategy, but not much more to take. I mean, this looks hard now, but if you practice this a bit, it's easy. Trust me. The third step would be to translate the running count into a true count. And the true count is a count per deck. Let's make an example. I mean, that's the easiest way to explain it. Let's say there are 4 decks remaining to be dealt out, and the running count is 8. Then the true count would be 8 divided 4. And yeah, so our true count in this case is 2. And yeah. Fourth, you now need to bet bigger the higher the true count is. And keep in mind that a certain threshold needs to be met in order to make the game plus EV, so make him having a positive expected value. And yeah, for the most common online games, this is Evolution or Playtech, I would say you probably need a true count of, let me guess, I think it's like 1, maybe 1.5. I mean, on Evolution it should be closer to 1.5 because they got slightly worse rules, so the house edge on Evolution is bigger. And on Playtech it's closer to 1, I would say. And yeah, this is almost it. The 5th step is not mandatory. I mean, you could still be plus EV without doing it, but I like to adding it as well. And the 5th step would be to make adjustments to basic strategy based on count. And yeah, I have prepared something for you. To be honest, I didn't prepare that. And this is from the website Wizard of Odds. And yeah, this is a great site to start off when you have any gambling related questions. I think this is not done by the owner of the site called Shackleford. I think he copy pasted it from someone else, but whatever. This is a table with adjustments you should make. And yeah, I will go through the first 5 points or something. And yeah, you feel free to make a screenshot and go through the rest on your own. And yeah, you could also always visit the Wizard of Odds yourself or do your own research. I think there are even more things to consider once the count reaches certain thresholds. But now, without further ado, let's get into it. Normally, you never insure yourself, but then the true count is +3 or higher. You should now take insurance. And if you have 16 against dealer's 10, then you should hit or stand based on the count. If the count is 0 or better, then you should stand, otherwise hit. And yeah, for your 15 versus dealer's 10, you need a true count of +4 or higher, and then you should stand instead of hit, which the basic strategy recommends. And the next two ones seem counterintuitive because everyone learns that you should never split tens. But if the count is very high, you sometimes should split tens against the worst cards on the dealer's hand. I mean, worst for the dealer. When the dealer shows a 6, you can split on a true count of +4 or higher. And on a 5, you need a little bit better count. And this would be +5, yeah. This is how card counting works. That was it. You could also use more complicated methods in order to increase your edge a bit more. This is how card counting works. You could also use more complicated methods in order to increase your edge a bit more. For example, you could count aces and tens separately. You could also count even more things. But this will make the strategy a lot less complicated, and the edge which is gained through this is not that big. So I would say basic card counting should be enough, as shown in this video for most people. In my eyes, this strategy is useless, and although it's clearly a profitable strategy, this is because casinos know about this strategy. This exploit is very well known, and casinos will monitor their tables very closely. And once you are identified as a counter, your career will end very abruptly and very fast. I mean, if you are lucky, you will just get banned. If you are less lucky, they will also take away your winnings, and if they want to go after you very badly, they might take away your winnings and your deposits as well. So
it's a trap!
This is very risky play. And it's also almost impossible to disguise that you are a counter. I mean, you bet big and the count is good. I mean, how can you hide this fact? And you will also never play early in shoes. You will always play late in shoes and never play the first hand, for example. In addition to that, it's also a waste of time to do card counting. I mean, if you count cards, you can count one table, maybe two tables simultaneous, and then you are already very good. And even if you are that good, you could be sitting in front of your computer and don't find any spots for hours. So yeah, this is just a waste of time. I mean, even if you identify spots, you have to bet very huge in order to make it worth it. I mean, you want to have a decent hourly, and this can only be done if you then play very big. And keep in mind, you will not have a gigantic advantage or something. I mean, these counting spots give you like 0 to 3% advantage only. And this is also coming with huge side risks, as already mentioned. I mean, if your deposits and winnings might be confiscated later because the casino thinks that you are a cheater, I think it's just not worth trying. So, although card counting is clearly no cheating, some casinos will deem that it is. And yeah, good luck trying to get your money from sites located in some tax havens or some corrupt countries. Yeah, so just don't try it, is my advice. So using this will be minus EV because of the adjustments the casino will make to you. I mean, often you also don't want to lose your account, and yeah, this is the shortest and fastest way to assure that your account will be gone very soon. I mean, you now might think, okay, I can scale this thing up by using a computer. The computer could count on all tables simultaneous and alarm you once a good spot is found. I mean, this actually would work, but you would still have to risk a lot of money. And this actually might be illegal. I mean, in my eyes, it's probably not, but I'm not a lawyer, so I cannot say that it is not illegal. And it might also be dependent on the country you are in, if it's illegal or not. So yeah, I'm very unsure if this is illegal or not. But yeah, it's still probably not worth it because casinos will find out very soon that you count, and then your balance is at risk, and not only the winnings but the entire balance. So again, to sum it up, overall card counting online is not worth it. The risks just are bigger than the chances in my eyes. But this is still not completely useless. In my eyes, it's possible to use something that is, I would describe as card counting light. For example, if there's another promotion you want to take part in, let's say a leaderboard, where this leaderboard might be just dependent on the money you bet in the time of the leaderboard, and then you could combine card counting and the leaderboard in order to have a bigger edge. So you will not card count and just play spots with positive EV. You could just sit down at a random table. It does not have to be at the beginning of the shoe. and then you just start playing, and then you count cards. And if you see that your disadvantage is going up compared to the normal house edge, so the count is very negative, then you just quit the table. So in this case, you cannot be seen as a counter because you also play negative spots, but you avoid these spots that are more negative than the normal house edge. So a normal house edge is, depending on the provider, like 0.7 or 0.5%. And yeah, when the running count gets negative or very negative, you can just leave table, and then you avoid all these times when you play at minus 1.5, minus 2%. And this already is worth a lot, and yeah, you should do better than just playing every hand. So yeah, this is my take on counting. So don't use it like I explained in the beginning. Just use the counting light method, which I described to you a minute ago. Yeah, and you could also, to increase your edge a bit further, you could also have a small spread, although the sides also don't like when you have big spreads in your limit. So for example, you bet 5 euros, 5 euros, 5 euros, and once the count gets good, you bet 10,000. They clearly don't like that, so don't do that. But in a promotion setting, like explained, you could consider to play a small spread. Let's say your normal bet is 500 and you go up to 1k, maybe 2k, and you do this when the count is better than average. Yeah, that is it. This was my take on counting. Yeah, let me know what your experiences are with online casinos, and if you plan to learn and apply this strategy. Thanks for watching. If you didn't like the video yet, please do so now. Also consider to subscribe to not miss any of my future videos. Yeah. Good luck at the tables. Bye until next time.